It's baked macaroni and cheese, y'all. Hey y'all, it is baked macaroni and cheese time. I was over at Teaira Walker's channel and she made a quick and easy baked macaroni and cheese, and I wanted to see if I could replicate it. Now, I must tell you guys that I am not a fan of baked macaroni and cheese. I prefer the creamy variety, but from the look of her video, hers looked quite creamy. So let's start with oversalting the water, because another internet chef said oversalt the water and undercook the pasta. So that's what we're doing. We are adding salt to our pot of water. There's about 2 or 3 cups of water inside. On the side we have our Land O'Lakes butter, 2 eggs. We have the pasta. They were totally out of elbow pasta because of the time of year, so I decided to go with these. I think they'll work out just fine. We'll see in just a few. And while we're getting all of those things together, I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 360, because she said that she did hers on 360, and let that get started. So let's head back over to the eye where we have the water boiling, and we're going to add just a little bit of butter to the water so the pasta will not stick together. While we're waiting on the water to boil, we're going to go ahead and grease our pan so it will be prepared for our noodles when they're ready. So I'm just taking a little bit of butter on a paper towel and thoroughly greasing the pan so the noodles will not stick. There we are, it's all finished. So now we're going to get started on our egg wash. Our egg wash is a small can of Carnation evaporated milk. Make sure you get the evaporated milk and not the condensed milk. You do not want to end up with sweet macaroni and cheese. So just open the can of milk, pour it in a bowl, mix the 2 eggs, and use it to pour over the layers of macaroni and cheese. Now that the water has come to a boil, I'm going to add about 3/4 of the noodles into the boiling water along with the butter and stir to make sure that they do not stick together, and you can have an al dente noodle in about 10 to 11 minutes, or check for your desired texture. They will continue to cook in the oven, so you don't want to overboil the noodles. During the first go, I stirred the eggs and the milk together. Now I'm adding a little salt and pepper to give it a little more flavor, so when it's added to the dish, it will add to the flavor, because bland macaroni and cheese is simply a no. Now the noodles are at their desired cooking length. I poured out the water, rinsed off the noodles to cool them down just a bit before adding them to our already greased pan. And here's where we are putting Teaira Walker's method into action. We are going to put the noodles in the pan, and excuse the shakiness. I was using my new camera and I think I had it around my neck because I didn't take out my tripod like I should have. Shame, shame, shame. But here we go. Roll with me, okay? Shakes and all. I put down the noodles. Now I am going to add a little bit of cheddar cheese. She had mild cheese and sharp cheese. I have this triple cheddar blend and the Colby Jack because I'm just not a huge fan of cheddar, so I didn't want to overdo it with cheddar. So here's the cheese. She did say that she salt and peppers the first and the last layers, so we're going to do that as well. And make sure that we have enough cheese because the dish is called what? Baked macaroni and cheese. I'm going to go ahead and spread that around a little bit so that it is even. Yep, my camera is shaking just a bit, but stick with me. It'll get better. I'm putting on the little salt and pepper. And I am going to pour the milk and egg mixture in just a minute. Here we go. Now Teaira says this is to help make it creamy because, again guys, I am not a baked macaroni and cheese person. I like creamy mac and cheese, but she says if you follow this recipe with the egg and milk mixture, your baked macaroni and cheese will be creamy and you will win over non-believers. Stick with me and let's repeat the process. It's another layer of noodles, more cheese. I'll add the Colby Jack cheese blend this time, more egg wash, and cheese at the top. Now we have the layers all in. I'm adding the last shake of salt and pepper as well as the cheese topping. There's also butter inside like Teaira put to add to the moisture and yumminess. No, this isn't a healthy meal, but we're both Southern and that's not what we're going for. Cover it in foil and stick it in the oven for 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes later, guys, and this is how it looks for the first time. She said to bake it for 40 minutes, and that's what we're going to do. 20 covered and 20 uncovered. So, as you see, most of the cheese is not melted. So we need to get it back in there so we can get the crusty top and crusty sides on there and not overcook it and dry it out, but have it nicely Southern and perfect. Look at that. I can see the creaminess there. Now, I've seen baked macaroni and cheese with a little more crust at the top. I didn't want to chance burning it or making it too dry, because that was one of my biggest complaints about baked macaroni and cheese, with it being too dry. So I didn't want to take the risk. So this is after 40 minutes, 20 covered, 20 uncovered. So let's get it on the plate and dig in. Oh, it is cheesy. It is cheesy. And my fault that I could not get that entire square out without breaking it apart. Now, in her video, she was able to do it. She's magical. I'm not magical just yet. Not with the macaroni and cheese. Maybe if it had maybe 5 more minutes in the oven, it would have stayed together. But it didn't. And I put it on my plate anyway. And here we go. Let's take a taste. Look at that creamy goodness. And it is moist. Now, it's not as creamy as the creamy version that I make, or the box versions, because I do like Kraft box cheese. But it's good and it's easy to make. So Teaira Walker, the beauty guru, visit her channel. I'll link her video down below, her channel down below, and try out her recipe because it worked well for me. I'm almost won over. So until next time, I'm Regina Cordell for Sneakers and Forks. Like, comment, subscribe, and try this macaroni and cheese. Bye for now.